Welcome inside the Cashman Center in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Jimmy Cook alongside the great Seth Greenberg for our final contest of this Thursday evening between SC Supreme, led by the dunk assassin himself, Zion Williamson, and one of the most talented guards on all the Adidas Uprising circuit. That's Immanuel Quickley for Team BBC in the white jerseys, SC Supreme in the navy jerseys. The jump is controlled by SC Supreme. Let's have some summer fun here at the Summer Championships. As we'll get a first touch from Zion right there. He finds on the left wing, it's Trevor Hensley for three, and they strike blood first, does SC Supreme. Coach, what type of looks are you trying to see from this team, given the fact that as Zion, opportunity right out of the gate for a three-point play, this matchup against Team BBC likely to be taken significantly more seriously by those on the court than the matchup against.
This is a basketball game. This is not an exhibition.
Right.
All right. Last night was an exhibition, all the hype and everything that it surrounded, and it was a circus. This is a basketball game. These are two teams that are going to compete. They're going to play hard. It's not going to be just an endless fast break. And the interesting thing is, it's an elite point guard, maybe one of the best point guards in the country, and Quickley against obviously maybe the most physically dominating front court player in the country, in Zion Williamson.
Pfaffenberger able to get Zion on the deck right there. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd. One thing I do want to ask you about Zion, Coach, is, and I noticed that there he missed a free throw right out of the gate. I've always thought he was a shaky free throw shooter, but these last two nights, the three-pointer rattled home there by Devon Dotson. I never thought it was to a point of, a hack-a-Zion type mentality, but
guys are going to make him miss free. It's the summer. Guys are going to make him miss free throws. You're more just looking at, all right, where's his release? Does he have good balance? Does he finish his follow throughs? His guide hand on the side of the basketball? Those are the things you're really looking for. I mean, the one thing, will Zion
there's a three-pointer, another one rattled home by Dontarius James. Triples all around the board.
Will he develop into a good enough shooter?
A layup blown badly by Pfaffenberger.
To keep the defense honest, or will the defense be able to shrink and just keep them in front?
So you think it's just a little over analysis?
Yeah,
at this
I
point
don't worry
else.
about free throw shooting now. I mean, there'll be things that he's got to tweak on his release, but he's got to catch the ball where he wants. Watch them.
Zion tried to get it over to Hensley, but he mistimed the pass. A little miscommunication between the guard and the forward.
And they're going to double him on every single catch and try to get the ball out of his hands, and they've got to have some type of post action to free him up a little bit.
One of the interesting things to note from this team is the addition of Devon Dotson, who just joined on Tuesday afternoon the SC Supreme roster. And really, when you have a dynamic player like Zion, who is that playing the 4 slot for SC Supreme, they didn't have as many dynamic guards. They had good role-playing guards, but you bring in a top 100 player in Dotson, and suddenly the offense completely changes for SC Supreme.
You have another guy who can put pressure on the defense and get an easy basket, which is, obviously huge for them. And, Dotson has a chance. A guy who can just go and make a play.
Right.
And that takes pressure off of Zion. The interesting thing with Zion is, he's the biggest game on everyone's schedule. All right, so I mean, he's going to get double teamed. He's going to face physical defense. He's going to get banged around a little bit, and I think that's how does he handle that game in and game out?
I've yet to see him really, in terms of overall play, be fazed by it. And that's the thing you want to focus on.
You got a body like that, would you be fazed by it?
No. No.
He's a really good player. He's got good hands. He's got a good temperament for the game. And that's important.
One of the interesting storylines going into this game, outside of specifically the two teams, is that Zion had mentioned in an interview a couple weeks back that if there was a guard that he wanted to play with, or an ideal guard fit he wanted to play with, he imagined himself playing with a guard like Immanuel Quickley. And they're good friends on the entire Adidas circuit, and there are a couple teams. I've talked about how I don't want to push any favoritism anywhere, but there is some teams that they could very well, if they wanted to play with together, share scholarships right now, and there's a couple out west that would be very scary.
Yeah, it'll be. I can't see Quickley going out west, to be honest with him. I'd be surprised.
Being the East Coast product that he is.
I think he'll be East Coast, Southeastern product.
Maybe the South Carolina area?
I would say closer to probably the Kentucky area.
Yeah, yeah. Quickley controls baseline, a little jab step. That jump shot too strong. Rebound taken by SC Supreme. Here comes Dotson. Dotson leads to Zion. He'll feed. Right over to Bozer. Now back to James, and they'll call a jump ball tie-up. Possession arrow favors Team BBC.
And the interesting thing about Zion is he doesn't force anything. He lets the thing come to him, although at times in that trail spot, if he drove it, they could rotate opposite, and he, especially on the left-hand side of the floor where he can get to the rim, you'd like to see be a little more aggressive there.
If he's able, one of the most interesting things is the foul is drawn there by Montez Mathis. One of the most interesting things about Zion's game, given his size and build, is the handles that he has in the open floor. It's very raw, and it doesn't look, the great Sergio Millis talked to us a little bit earlier.
I thought
today.
I was the great. Everyone's the great.
Everybody that's in my circle. Everybody that's in my circle.
You used
Look
the
at
great
the circle.
very
look at the
freely.
Circle.
I mean, there's been a lot of greats thrown out.
Coach, look at
BW, am I right or what?
Coach, look at the circle here. We got, listen. Here's the circle right now. We got the great Brian Williams. Coach Greenberg right in that mix as well.
In the mix.
Yes.
What about Albert Hall?
We don't have an adjective for Albert Hall.
This is right there. Great job defensively. See, they are absolutely packing
Zion and one opportunity with ease. He described Zion, though, did Sergio, as at times a bull in a china shop, but nothing breaks.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Barkley.
Yeah?
You like that one?
Did
you ever see Charles Barkley play?
Not live, but yes, YouTube, of course.
YouTube. Yeah. All right. Just want to make sure you were locked in.
Yes. And that's the common comparison that at times as Zion's games continue to evolve, that I think from a historical aspect makes the most sense.
I try to.
You're on point 10 times out of 10 there, Coach.
Every once in a while.
Three-pointer on the far right wing. That's an air ball taken by Montez Mathis. So it'll go back to SC Supreme. Will hold a 10-point advantage right now. If he's able to fully master his handles, the question of all that was, Coach, what's the ceiling for him? Or is the sky the limit already?
Yeah, well, I think we rate guys until they've really accomplished. He's left-hand dominant. If he drives it right, he's going to spin back to his left hand. I think his handles are just fine. I think that, when he plays with better players and has better spacing and more room to play, then he'll be even more dominant. He's a willing passer. He plays hard. He's got this great body. But let's face it, he's playing with a team that you don't have to guard all five guys.
Right.
So the game becomes extremely difficult because the court shrinks.
SC Supreme basketball on the sideline. 14-4 their advantage, just roughly 3.5 minutes in on this one. A drive by Zion, tough take. He gets his own board though, second chance, yes. Coach, you mentioned how he likes to favor that left hand. Off the top of your head, what type of program or what type of coaching staff do you think would best help Zion adjust his game to the level that could one day make him ascend?
I can't go in that direction. Come on. I mean, there's a lot of really good coaches out there that could, take a player like that and help him develop. But
James, a three-pointer out front.
The biggest thing is he's a willing candidate because he wants to work on his game. He loves the game. He's going to be in the gym. He's passionate about working on his game.
Okay, so let's rephrase that then in a way that lessens the restraints on your ability to answer. If you were coaching Zion collegiately, as an impressive drive there, right by Devon Dotson, to make his game more versatile and open up utilizing the right hand, what would you do?
Well, you're gonna do player development. You're gonna do all your ball handling drills. You're gonna obviously play him at the 4, which is his best position, and surround him with a bunch of shooters. And you're gonna do all your skill development. You're gonna work on putting him in ball screens where he could pop and attack closeouts. You're gonna put him in situations where he can catch it in the middle of the floor and sweep and attack. And you're going to work on his ability to make sure that he's on balance and collect himself. And then you're going to try to move his range out, which is really important. His ability to move his range out. So now you've got to close out on him a little bit, which will open up driving lanes.
Jones able to split the pair there and make this now just the 5th point of the half for Team BBC. They trail by 16. Zion all the way to the rim, off glass and in again from the left side. Leads up to 18. Zion having a field day on the left side of the basket. That three-pointer by Quickley just off the back of the iron. Now Zion on the floor to Dotson. Dotson hesitates, kicks it out. Left side, 3 in the air. 3 left short by Dontarius James. And Immanuel tried to see the court, but Dotson swatted away. Now will step into a triple, and he hit it. What a two-way play. Able to knock out the pass from Quickley and then knock down that triple to make this a 20-point game. Air ball taken by Jones, and Zion up the way.
I had you.
Stepped out of bounds.
He was coming. I had you back.
I appreciate that. And
I'm not sure it would have done any good. I had you back.
I think it might have done better good than me just trying to take it
on the chest.
Yes.
Could have both gotten crushed.
Yeah, it could have been a dive for the basketball. The equipment gone. Then our producer, Brian Williams, he would have been all over the place with equipment down, the color analyst, the broadcaster out. He would have had to take over.
And he'd have no problem.
Exactly, because he's incredibly versatile. Foul on the floor in the act of shooting. It'll send Jalen Andrews to the foul line. Andrews out of Boys Latin High School of Maryland. His first free throw attempts of the ball game.
Baltimore just doesn't have the size and the physicality in their front court to deal with Williamson. Even when they give early help, even when they double, even when they're in gaps, he just physically overpowers the game. And now when you make some shots, you know, when James and Dotson make some shots, now it really becomes difficult for BBC.
How hard is it to evaluate players when you have situations like Zion and like Quickley where they are clearly talented ball players, but there's no really second or third options that are right there with them?
You're not evaluating the guy off of this type of game. I mean, Immanuel Quickley is one of the top 2 or 3 point guards in the country.
Right.
He's improved dramatically defensively.
Right.
He's shooting the ball to the 3-point line with ease. He's a
Xavier
willing
Johnson.
passer, so I mean.
Nice dribble moves, throws it up there. He'll go to the line for 2.
What happens today it doesn't impact your evaluation. The same thing with Zion Williamson. I mean, Zion is who he is. He's physically tough. He's strong. I'd like to see him get in world-class shape. But, I mean, he just physically overpowers people, and that's what makes him different.
And Zion overall, you look at the physical regime that he's put together, he's slimmed down over the last 2 seasons, and the thought process being the further he goes along in his career and gets on, you know, the right dietary program, gets himself further in shape, that the amount of speed and acceleration for a player of his size could continue to go through the roof.
Yeah, the other thing about him is he's got incredible hands. I mean, just incredible hands.
25-6 to score. Active hands, a critical part of Zion's defensive ability, as Coach points out there. A turnover again for SC Supreme, able to have a little bit of a cushion for turnovers with a 19-point lead in hand.
And the one thing about, you know, his weight, you want to get him in great shape, but you also his weight, because, you know, he's had some knee issues, and you want to make sure that, you know, he's in good shape, but he's also at a weight where his body can handle it.
Right. Quickly to Pfaffenberger off the pick and roll to the rim, and Zachary able to get that one to fall. Make it a 17-point deficit now, and we are just past the 10-minute mark of this game, and Team BBC still yet to crack double figures. Trap apply. James somehow gets out of it. Dotson, the 15 on the shot clock, gives to Zion. He's got a mismatch. Zion, great feed. Over to James. He couldn't get it to go. And now here comes Team BBC. They throw over to Quickley. Quickley lobs it right back to Johnson. Extra pass. They turn it over. Wild possessions on both ends, and Dotson will pump the brakes to walk it up the floor. And a timeout will be taken by SC Supreme. Full timeout will take one as well. Just over 9 minutes to go in this first half. Advantage to SC Supreme. Stay with us. We'll have more after this. You're watching Adidas Summer Championships right here on Adidas Uprising and Ballislife.com. Welcome back inside the Cashman Center in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Jimmy Cook alongside Coach Seth Greenberg as Zion Williamson will be the trigger man. Sideline left to our table. I'm so pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Thursday evening with us. 17-point advantage for SC Supreme as they try to solve now this defensive pressure being applied by Team BBC. Zion to the rim, scoop shot, no good. Rebound fought for, taken by James. Ontarius floats it up there, not enough on it. Rebound, Zion fighting for it. Who's the last off of? They'll say off of SC Supreme. Back to Team BBC.
BBC extending their defense a little bit on that last possession and trying to kind of impact the game, going back to the little zone, keeping it in front, but they're going to have to rebound the ball in that zone.
Coach, during that last stoppage of play, what's got to be the message from the Team BBC coaching staff? You know you're not going to climb all the way back in one possession, but you've got to try to win each possession at a time to give yourself a chance, right?
They've got to rebound the basketball and limit them to one shot. They got to continue to defend and double Zion. But then when he throws out a double, you got to keep a body on him because you got to keep him off the glass.
Right.
And then offensively, you got to find a way to score. I mean, look, you've got 8 points. And, got to find a way to put some pressure on the defense. And I expect Immanuel to be a little bit more aggressive.
We'll have to wait and see. He's been solid on the defensive end, but Dotson's making him work right there. Drove right at him off glass and extends the lead down to 19, 27-8.
And Dotson's taking this on as a challenge, playing, what many people think is the 1, 2, or 3 best point guards in the league. You see how aggressive he is there defensively.
Quickley rises, fires, too strong, and you're right, Dotson really trying to prove his worth, it would seem, appearing on this SC Supreme team just 4 days ago, and now up against one of, if not the top guard in the class of 2018 in Immanuel Quickley. Quickley walks it up the floor. 7:30 to go here, first half.
See how Dotson's giving no help whatsoever, staying attached to Quickley.
And that's impressive for someone that is as fast and frenetic as Quickley can be when he wants to turn on the Jets.
Well, the biggest thing, you don't want to let him get the ball back.
Right.
And that's what they're trying to do. When he gives it up, you don't want to let him get the ball back. And
Dotson against Quickley, and he's been true to his form on the defensive end, has Dotson. Able to essentially face guard Quickley and avoid any action from him after that initial pass, as the penetration off the forced turnover by Zion Williamson leads to a Delmar Moore layup. 29-8 to score. 21-point advantage continues to grow. Teardrop floater by Johnson, eye off the glass and in. Xavier Johnson gets that one to fall. And now finally in double figures, our Team BBC. Coach, have you ever seen one of those silent 10 chants at high school games where, and sometimes college games, where the student section will wait and sit down or only stand up once their team scores 10? You ever heard of that?
I hope I was never part of one.
Well, I've seen a couple, at least. Maybe it's just the
did
crazy
it just
Midwest.
happen here?
I was saying if it did, I would feel bad for all the fans in attendance, as it took 10 minutes to crack that double digits for Team BBC, but now they're on at least a
offensive
4-point
juggernaut
scoring spurt all of a sudden.
A silent 10. Well, give me this again.
Silent 10 chant. Your student section sits down and does not lose their minds and get active in the game. Really common.
Where are you a graduate of?
This is high school, by the way.
Oh, high school.
Yes,
high school.
High school.
It's a high school thing.
High school thing.
Okay. I got
high school ball. High school thing. High school ball.
I'll have to pay more attention to that.
Yeah.
Thank goodness they've gotten past 10.
It could be a Midwest thing. You never know. Never know. We're crazy around
If
there.
it was silent, how did anyone hear it?
You know, that's an interesting question. I think because it's silent up until the 10 points are scored.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
Totally silent.
Yes.
It's like, when people don't sit down till like the first basket
Exactly.
scored.
That type of thing.
That's like that on steroids?
Exactly like that. Coach.
Now I got you. Now I know where you're coming from.
Here goes Mathis to the rim. Count it, put him on the line. An impressive take there by Montez Mathis. Now an opportunity for an old-fashioned three-point play. You could see it in his eyes there, Coach. He wanted every bit of the contact and finishing true right at the hoop.
Attacking in his eyes. Officials right now, not a factor.
No, we had some of them.
No one stepped out of bounds.
My mentor back in Indianapolis, worked at the Clippers for a number of years, Rob Brown, said Taylor University in Indiana calls it the silent night. There's no noise until 10 points are scored, and then they go absolutely bonkers.
But Taylor University, don't they play like that crazy fast style? So that doesn't take much time to get to 10.
On occasion, correct, yes, exactly. Only rare are you seeing a long scale delay before that 10 count. So it's a quicker version of what we saw here. You don't have to wait 12 minutes for that one. 35-17 the score, an 18-point advantage. Timeout taken on the floor.
And a little intensity from the South Carolina Supreme coaching staff. They've given up 17 points, 3 straight buckets.
They were proud of their defense for about 9.5 minutes, and now all of a sudden things have started to fall away. Take a look. There's Coach Bill Self.
Norm Roberts right there, one of the great ones.
Among the many coaches in attendance to see not only Zion Williamson, but Immanuel Quickley and Devon Dotson as well in SC Supreme.
Now, you usually have the lists. Devon Dotson, where we got?
Devon Dotson, we got offers from Arizona, Clemson, Creighton, Florida, Georgia, Kansas, Louisville, Maryland, Miami, and North Carolina.
To name a few.
Yes, to name a few. That list ever growing, especially given the way he's played in this matchup. You got to think there's some interest of how well he's defended Immanuel Quickley. Dotson puts on the deck, goes right at Immanuel, then a call a foul. I don't know about that one. Like Quickley was straight up from our vantage point.
Dotson, really explosive first step, plays to contact, uses his eyes to lift the defender to punch it in that gap.
So he'll go to the foul line. As Coach mentioned, you can clearly tell that Dotson's trying to prove his worth not only to SC Supreme, but to the scouts here in attendance. That first free throw is good out of Providence Day High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. They'll have one more, 36-17 the score, a 19-point advantage for SC Supreme.
So as you watch Dotson right now, what's your first impression? See, now I can ask you questions too.
Of course. I think my first impression of him, and this is just solely looking at his impact on SC Supreme, is that he's the type of guard that they were looking for. I mentioned this to you a little bit ago, that SC Supreme relies so heavily, as a three-pointer hit right there by Montez Mathis on the left wing for Team BBC. They rely so heavily on Zion that at times teams could just simply double team him, force a turnover, and that would be the ball game because there was no way for them to fully answer that call. But now with Dotson, it's another top-level talent as a drive from the baseline on Delmar Moore, absorbs some contact, will go to the line for 2 shots. Having another top 100 guy and a prolific guard on the floor in Dotson, he can go out and get you a bucket, make sure your offense doesn't go stagnant, and also limits the amount of time that a team can fully focus on Zion without having to pay the price from Devon.
Good analysis. Just checking to see if you were paying attention.
Good to see that I have a versatility there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll do play-by-play and you become the analyst.
That's all right. I feel like that, at least on my end, in terms of my full-scale analysis ability, the broadcast might take a hit. I think you do fine on the play-by-play end. As Quickley all the way to the rim. No offensive foul, they say. Dontarius James in there to take the charge. It's one of the best-looking drives we've seen from Quickley in this session. But all for naught on the offensive foul.
Quickley doesn't look as engaged as he normally is. I mean, it's been a long summer. He's traveled a great deal. He was overseas. The game isn't very competitive right now, although it's worth watching, obviously.
Immanuel's one of my most exciting players to watch on the Uprising series, but you mentioned his trip to Italy. Coach, we're performing at a high level, and we also went to Italy. Well, what's going on with that? That's all I want to know.
Well, we have a better team.
I think there could be a strong argument for that, no doubt.
Nothing like patting yourself on the back.
Of course. Why not? You could pat me on the back, but I can't give you a few
We're
pats.
We're only as good as BW. I'm just telling you right now.
Exactly. We live and die by Brian Williams.
That's just the way it is.
Dotson in between the circles on the far left side. A 17-point game with 3:40 to go. They skip over to Moore, and a shot clock violation. They ran out of time. Lost track of the situation at SC Supreme. So Quickley will bring it up the floor, down 17. Jones flips over to Mathis. Mathis right at the defender. He got it to go. They let him play on as Delmar Moore was there to play the aggressive defense, but Mathis just too strong. Risky pass. Quickly tried to jump the passing lane. He did. It leads to a turnover, and a layup is blown initially. Mathis flies in, though, for a second chance, blocked away by Zion, and now he receives it. Wants to move up the floor. Here he goes in space. Williamson around contact, throws it up, and he'll go to the line for two. A track meet.
Yeah, the game got up and down, and Williamson, when he gets into the scoring area, he gets himself a little bit lower, gets himself on balance. He's got a physicality that no one else on this court has. Now, here's the thing. When you move up to that next level, you're going to play against other guys that are as physical, as strong, as quick. All right, how does that translate? I think that's the thing that all these schools, look, he's a terrific player. Is he a guy that changes someone's program? Maybe. But he's got to do more things than just use his physicality and his strength.
Zion hitting both free throws there. First time we've seen him do that over the last 24 hours.
You're big on counting the free throws. Counting the free throws, stepping out of bounds. What else? What are other pet peeves?
That's the ode to Papa Cook back home. My father, born in the 30s, a big fan of old-fashioned basketball, and free throws, the biggest pet peeve in the Cook family. You missing free throws.
I obviously have learned that.
What are you doing? That and stepping on the sidelines.
That's stepping on the How about getting back on defense?
Up the way, you got to get back on defense, as Team BBC blew the assignments on that one, and James with the easy layup, a late contest there, but far too late.
So I just learned something. I mean, the Cook family's big on free throws.
Big on free throws, big on fundamentals.
Free throws, fundamentals, and staying inside the lines. Always a good thing.
I'm not saying you're going to win a lot of games that way, but you're setting yourself up to potentially win games.
Well, if you don't turn it over, then you defensive rebound and you make your free throws and stay inside the lines.
An ideal philosophy.
And are solid fundamentally.
Set yourself up.
You've got a chance to win.
Exactly. Give yourself a puncher's chance.
Maybe be competitive defensively. Anything else we need to add to this?
I'm sure we could go on. Pfaffenberger feeds right side to Hairston as a shot clock expired. He left it way short. First time we've seen Jordan Hairston tonight. And the shot clock violation sends it back to SC Supreme with 2:15 to go in the first half.
Is this an official game or is this an exhibition?
My gut wants to tell me.
I mean, it's a game. The teams are playing like a game.
My gut wants to tell me it's labeled an exhibition, but I would have to confirm.
It's labeled an exhibition because the cup is decided.
Yes.
All right. That's it. No, I wasn't. The teams are trying to play.
You were trying to further degrade the circus that was going on the
last
two nights.
No. I was just, I mean, it's not a competitive game as we speak. I mean, it's 19-point game.
Zion from the elbow draws contact. He'll go to the line. I will say this, though. By far the slowest in terms of the way the game's been officiated. The slowest first half of basketball that we've had, and yet there's 63 points on the board combined in both teams.
Is there a mercy rule?
No.
Just checking.
You know, I ask myself that sometimes when you have big blowouts either in the NBA or collegiately. Zion with the free throw
right
there.
Now. You know what's happening right now?
He's listening to the criticism.
He's getting into the favor of the Cook family.
Yeah, he's trying to. Zion trying to earn his way back there. And he gets it both there. 4 straight for Zion
that was
Williamson.
feathery right there.
Yeah, a nice touch there. No
so just like that, you've changed on his free throw shooting.
Well, I've decided to take the advice to heart of you, Coach, that
winning
we can't
and
analyze.
Winning and losing is a byproduct of how you play.
Exactly.
All right, free throw shooting. If your technique is good, your release is good, eventually you're going to make free throws.
Up the floor, Jones sent back by Zion, a return to sender. And here comes SC Supreme. Dotson off glass, too strong. Knocked out of bounds. It'll go the other way. So Immanuel Quickley will bring it up the floor.
Is this the longest period of time Immanuel Quickley's gone without scoring a bucket?
Since I've seen him, yes. This will be the second year of action I've seen from Immanuel, and I would say it's a long drought indeed. Devon Dotson walks up the floor, matched up against Quickley. 1:07 to go in this half. Give it to Zion, in between the circles. Feed to James. Dontarius skips it over. There's Hensley for three. Too strong. James tracked down the board, but able to tip it out there was Andrews. Here comes Quickley. Immanuel to the rim, set back by Zion. Oh my. There's your highlight play. Didn't come on offense this time.
He was absolutely shot out of a cannon. Does a nice job of staying in the play, chasing it down, timing it. Duck!
Zion said in his interview prior to this game with our own L. Young that even though he loves Immanuel, all bets are off when they get on the floor. And there's that example, no mercy from Zion on that drive. Quickly trying to respond, and he does. There you go. Maybe that's what he needed. Little wake-up call.
He's really improved his ability to shoot the basketball, even off balance right there.
It's a beautiful thing.
L. Young, is it just a symbol, or do we have all the letters?
All the letters, I believe.
All letters.
Lob to Zion, inside, off glass, and maybe the superstars are going to start feeding off one another here at Cashman Center. Final seconds of the half, 47-24. Advantage SC Supreme. Quickley and Zion, the best friends, matching up against one another. Quickley with the basketball. He goes by him, hesitates, hangs and scores. Got it to go. He wins that one. And the halftime buzzer sounds as Quickley able to put together a quick 4-0 scoring run and make this a 21-point game heading into the halftime break.
You know, if I was the Baltimore team, I would sit Quickley the second half and let him rest.
Let's see what they decide to do. We'll have the second half after this. You're watching the Summer Championships on Adidas Uprising and Ballislife.com. Welcome back inside the Cashman Center in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Jimmy Cook alongside Coach Seth Greenberg, the talented Seth Greenberg. As Immanuel Quickley directly in front of us, set to inbound the basketball. Team BBC in a 21-point hole of the second half. Quickley opened 0 of 5, but finished the half 2 of 2.
He's got to be really. He's got to be really aggressive. To me, if this thing gets out of hand because their team is overmatched right now, I wouldn't play him. I mean, no sense in him.
Why risk it?
Getting injured or something happening in a situation like this.
Especially given the fact that it's not even a summer championship elimination contest. There's another game. There's a tomorrow, as you'd like to look at from a coaching perspective. Usually it's a no tomorrow mentality, but no eliminations. On the line tonight, and Zion again sends that one back.
So explosive off the ground. I mean, you know, he sees plays and he's like shot out of a cannon.
It's absurd.
Not that that happens very often, but it seems that way.
It's a jackrabbit-like quickness.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean, his ability to explode and his physicality and his alertness, especially off the ball.
Quickly not very alert on that one as a shot clock violation. He forgot to look up at the clock above the hoop.
Communication. It's not just the ball handler.
You're right.
It's the team.
You're right. I should not solely just pin that on him.
That's okay.
You got to communicate. He will. He'll probably forgive me. 47-26 to score. A 21-point advantage. Early stages here. Second half. It's a friendly exhibition between these two teams.
A friendly? Is the soccer match going to break out?
It is. It is.
Why do they call soccer matches friendlies?
I've always wondered why, and I don't have the answer to that one. Zion for three, trying to show the range. That one just off. And Quickley, beautiful find. Is it too much? No, it's saved right by Xavier Johnson, and now Mathis controls it. Not the ideal fast break opportunity, but here we are now in a half-court set due to the slight mistiming on the pass. It's a turnover. Quickly back on defense. Zion on Immanuel. Drives right at him. Lays it up off the glass like a gentleman with the left hand. Lead up to 23. Pfaffenberger right at the teeth. It's Darius Bozer, and he'll earn himself 2 free throws. Coach, you were right on the money, by the way. Our
Most
stats
times.
were going off here initially in the first half, but Quickley was indeed held scoreless for the entirety of that
Until the
half.
last 2 possessions,
Prior to those
right?
last 2 possessions, exactly.
And I don't know if he's held, like, my take on thing is a guy like that, I'm not sure if he's held scoreless or he almost checks himself.
Yeah.
He was not engaged. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't assertive the way he's capable of when he's playing well. And, again, like he's coming off that ball screen right there and he hits the roller.
Right.
But you don't have to play the roller the same way if that roller was a guy that could catch it, finish, and make a play.
Right.
You don't even have to shrink that far off the weak side. So, you know, to me, he's at a severe disadvantage right now in terms of the front court players he's playing with.
Zion has it between the circles, now feeds to Dotson. 15 on the shot clock. Heavily pressured by Pfaffenberger. He wanted a push off. They got James wide open in the corner, couldn't find him. Now to Zion, and a touch foul is going to be called on Montez Mathis. We'll stay on this end.
So I don't know if I would jam Zion Williamson. I would gap him, keep him in front, and dare him to make a shot. I mean, you jam him, and if he gets his shoulders by at all, he's by you, or you're going to foul him. And that's the way you need to play. Heels to the foul line.
That's a lose-lose.
The famous Jimmy Gatto walking by right now.
Never know who you're going to run into at Adidas Uprising. Dotson working the handle, 10 on the shot clock. Williamson not playing down low, instead all the way at the perimeter. He kicks it over to James. He'll rise for a long triple, and he got it contested. Holding up the hands was DeMarco Bakum. He's like, what else am I supposed to do there? I don't know. Pretty solid contest. Zion wanted the block there, but the high shot thrown up by Mathis makes this a 23-point game. Dotson with Quickley on his hip. Kicks it out. Hensley for a 3. Got it again. 2 straight triples for James and Hensley, both on the left wing. Leads now 26, largest of the ball game. Bakum, he draws contact.
They've got to let these guys play a little bit.
They didn't let him do it at all in the first half. 15 fouls called between them in half number 1. And again, we talked about that in that first half, that it slows down everything. You don't get any offensive rhythm or flow.
There's no flow to this game whatsoever. And, you know, free them up, guys up a little bit. Don't call every touch foul. Talk to the players on the floor and give them a chance to play.
Bakum gets that one to go. As he splits the pair and makes it 55-30. Hensley gives to James as some full court pressure being applied by BBC. Dotson easily breaks it, goes all the way to the rim at Pfaffenberger. Too strong, put back, no. Rebound Hensley. He'll give it to James. Pump fake. Now sets himself. Kicks it out. Dotson for 3. Too strong. Rebound taken. They go to the floor quickly. Immanuel wants to push. He feeds to Mathis. Montez spinning around the defender, and he's fouled. In the unique circumstances of this game, Coach, where there's no elimination at stake, it's mainly just an exhibition, and the championships is on the line, at least the start of the tournament for elimination play tomorrow. You've talked about maybe pulling the dogs back if you're Team BBC. At what point is that line for you with 12:41 to go and a 25-point advantage right now?
Yeah, I think that, again, if you're going to have to play numerous games, if you know, to me, I would rest guys. I mean, this game means nothing.
Right.
Except that, obviously, we're broadcasting it.
And all our Ball is Life faithful on Ballislife and
exactly.
AdidasUprising.com. We know you folks want to keep Quickley and Zion out there.
But, I mean, to me, it's hot. You're hoping to play multiple games in one day. It makes most sense. Get a guy a sweat, get him going, and then get him out.
Williamson, right side, puts it on the deck, almost lost it. Great ball movement, though, on his second, and then the pass to assist but James can't knock it down. The lob out to Johnson, overshot him once again. Second time they mistimed that.
It's kind of like the NBA, you know, guys, sitting guys.
I was about to ask you that because I feel like the Ballislife backlash would be similar to that of the NBA fan backlash when players sit.
Like the amount of money that people pay to make that click compared to the amount of money that people pay to get a seat in an NBA arena, very, very similar.
I guess I didn't include the cost efficiency in that, more just the fan support, but you're right, just slightly a bit more at stake during an average NBA game. As Mathis' shot is misfired, he tried to track down his own board. No, they're going to say it's last touched by Jalen Andrews. So give it back to SC Supreme. And
now, when you clicked on this game, I'd like to hear Seth on Hoops. Send me a message. When you clicked on this game, what did you expect in 140 characters or less? What do you think? Think I'll get a response on that?
I think you'll get a large number of responses, and you'll probably regret doing that because your notifications might be going through the roof.
Send it. Seth on Hoops, what was your expectation of this game?
Dotson up the way. I expected a relatively competitive affair. I didn't expect a one-sided show like this.
Well,
I didn't envision Quickley being as tired as he appears to be, or maybe as.
You got Dotson, James,
Offenberger a long two-pointer. And Team BBC, you can't say South Carolina and SC Supreme is a little bit different because Zion struggled with injuries, but Quickley in this Team BBC team, not a lot of help overall. They went 7-5 in the Gauntlet Series, lost in the round of 32 to Texas Pro.
Good no call right there.
As the aggressive take that time by Team BBC, here comes Zion. We haven't seen him really in the paint yet today. Throws it up, put him on the line. And one.
And that's a guy with strength, size, and bounce that can play through contact, although it's not like size. But as he puts that ball down on the ground, watch, boom. Good jump stop, collects himself, and finishes.
Was there any, or do you think this is going to be the wave that brings out Immanuel? There were 3 guys, now there's only 2, so maybe not. Maybe they're keeping him out here. I am surprised the more you've talked about that.
So you're with me now?
I am. I mean, well, I'm all about, in terms of if it's an irrelevant game,
so you wouldn't be tweeting me something and killing me?
No.
All right, that's appreciated. Well, you know, you're my guy.
Of course not.
You called me the great one, but then I found out you called 1,700 people the
That's and if you noticed, you were the talented Seth Greenberg when we opened this broadcast. I've added more adjectives into the way.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Dotson on the far left side. 10-10 to go in this ball game. It's been all SC Supreme. Again, no one eliminated from the summer championships at the end of this one.
I might read, if we get some responses, I might read them on the air.
Under 10 to
you
go.
You never get a bad one in In-N-Out Burger, I can tell you that much.
There would be
Are
time.
they one of our sponsors?
There would be time during. They should be. There would be times during broadcasts back growing up where myself and my mentor Rob Brown would always discuss how the officials were acting and the idea that indeed they're trying to hustle out of here to catch the either a little in and out, a little movie here in Vegas. This pace is picked up incredibly compared to how it started. There's no doubt about that. As a tough finish right there by Jalen Andrews, because you look at the start of things, and Coach, I mentioned it to you at the start of this half, it was such a slow pace. They were basically calling everything, and the whistles have appeared to be swallowed as we've continued to pace ourselves.
And Zion Williamson, now that they've cut it to 20, has checked back in the game. What do you think of that? Put on your analyst hat.
I think that it is an extreme precaution that's unnecessary.
Like, here's my thing on this is
what matters if you lose?
If you're trying to empower your guys, it's a 20-point game. Why would you, like?
And what does that do for the morale for the players you wanted to trust out there? You have a 20-point cushion in a game that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And you bring back in Zion. somewhere there's a collection of Ballislife faithful that are cheering.
Up. Yes, he did come back out.
He was hiding.
See, the Ballislife faithful get
rewarded
treated.
for your viewership.
Exactly.
Don't take us. Take SC Supreme.
Just so you know, not Seth Davis hoops, but Seth on hoops. I'm not sure we're getting a great response.
Zion, right side to James. James hangs and scores. I wanted to see a high offensive output by SC Supreme, but I expected that Team BBC would match that. You gotta give credit. It's hard to tell, Coach, right? It's only one matchup, and we know how talented Quickley is. We know how talented Dotson is, but he's done a solid job on him defensively today. Whether or not it's because Quickley's kind of half there, I don't know. It's only one game, but for him to make, that's got to be a point of emphasis. You talked about it, for him to show his worth here today.
No doubt about it. He's taken this challenge personally. Now, obviously, they're not.
James to Zion. He threw it down. There's one that'll get everybody out of their seats. Your highlight play from Zion Williamson. It happens that quick.
SportsCenter Top 10 right here.
Hashtag SC Top 10.
What do you think? What do you think? How about you with the hashtag? And that's a high percentage shot.
Yeah. Uncontested dunks. The only way Zion misses that if he puts too much mustard on the tomahawk before he throws it down. Mathis around the screen. Little stutter step, falling away. Zion commits the foul there. Running clock the rest of the way, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that, sometimes you just go straight up and you don't bring your hand down and you just get to the next play.
There are still college coaches in the building, so that's a plus. Not everybody is thrown in the towel, right?
Now, you've got to understand why the college. Let's explain to
show they care.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well put out cutouts of the guys and just stick them on top of the chairs. Because no one is evaluating this game. Zero. All right? No one is evaluating this game. Right now, this is called babysitting. All right? So we're coming down to the end of the evaluation period. It's no more evaluating when you're talking about upperclassmen.
Right.
All right? And you might as well just stick like a head of Sean Miller on the baseline.
Why not?
All right, and then each player would know who's watching.
Zion, an impressive feed from the top of the key right over to Lawson.
He's a good passer, and he's a willing passer, and he has a pretty good feel.
Has high-quality vision to Zion, as Coach points out there, and the lead is ballooned up to 24, 8 minutes to go. Mathis, daylight to the rim, off glass and in. The officials let contact go there, and Dotson rolls up the floor. Devon driving right at Rob Gonya III. Now Dotson will walk it back out. Lazy pass. Overplaying it was Mathis. Here's Zion. Zion crosses over, splits the defenders off glass. Got it to go.
How you could let him get to his left hand. And nice little inside-out dribble, which kind of froze the defender, gets himself low enough to get by the defender and keep him on line. But
are you surprised he's able to get to that left hand so easily?
Yeah, I'm
that's clearly a point of emphasis by coaches.
I'm shocked that he's getting to his left hand.
Boffenberger passed it to himself and able to get his layup up and in. As some of the other Adidas teams all around this Cashman Center complex finishing up their games. I want to remind you while we have a second that once the games are concluded today, we'll have a full-scale setup only on AdidasUprising.com for the bracket and the full information for the Summer Championship Tournament that starts tomorrow. Who's walking out of here with the prize of the summer? That pass knocked out of bounds by Team BBC. It'll stay sideline left, just past half court to SC Supreme.
And we're coaching with the kid on the hip again.
He's awake, though. He's usually sleeping.
He's checking it out. He was in Italy with us.
He was, as that's an aggressive take that just sits on the rim there for Zachary Pfaffenberger, and a personal foul called. Let's see who it's going to go on. I think it's going to be on Dontarius. Nita will, so that'll send Montez Mathis out of John Carroll High School in Bel Air, Maryland. He's ranked inside the Rivals Top 100, has offers from Memphis, Minnesota, NC State, St. John's, USC, West Virginia, and Virginia Tech, to name a few. First free throw up and in.
This is the least competitive I've seen this Baltimore team. And a lot has to do with their physicality, lack of physicality up front. But like, for them to be successful, they had to use their quickness and ability to pressure the basketball to disrupt.
I'm going to be
early. They didn't score, so they couldn't get into pressure. But they've disrupted nothing.
I'm going to be hunting the AdidasUprising.com box scores tomorrow to see if maybe this was just a Team BBC kind of just sleptwalk for this one because there was no real repercussions for it.
What time was their last game last night? Because obviously South Carolina Supreme played a late game last night.
To my knowledge, SC Supreme, at least on this floor in action.
Well, you were here.
Again, I was here for this game. Are you talking? Sorry, were you talking Team BBC?
Well,
late?
Just in general, what time do you think guys got out of here?
Oh God, probably about 12:30 East, so like 9:30 West Coast time. What am I talking about? The game was at 9:20. I'm sorry, 11:20 West Coast, 1:30 a.m. East Coast. I apologize for my terrible math there.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
One more free throw upcoming for Devon Dotson. I mean, and the thing was, don't have the official number of people on Ballislife right now, but over 800,000 people at one point in time tuned in over the course of that entire broadcast on Ballislife.com and Adidas Uprising. And that was for a game that took place at midnight on the East Coast.
It's like a Globetrotter game.
Exactly. I was unaware the Globetrotters were live streaming their events, but I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying. I mean, the game was like a Globe. I mean, I'm not sure which team was the.
I get
the
it.
Washington Generals,
right?
But that's about the amount of defense.
We all might have been the Generals for buying into, buying into it.
With 67-45 with 6:24 to go, we would hope that the officials would get this thing moving, but the little man is out now. Boom, TKO. The little guy.
No surprise there.
Done.
He's like, I'm ready to go too.
He checked out the score. He said, my work is done. Only. Huh? Little fella. Look at the little fella right there. He's out.
He's like, we're winning this. It's bedtime.
He said, my work is done.
Mathis on the far left side.
He is great, though. The little guy is great. I thought the little guy was unbelievable yesterday.
Quickley hits a triple there, and whose work is not done apparently is Immanuel Quickley's. Still been out here. Dotson all the way.
No call.
And a solid contest there, hands straight up by Brown. As Mathis, that long three-pointer misfired. Second chance at it, though. He'll decide to drive this time. Hand straight up on the other end. Third chance. Yes, that one bounces around and drops for Jordan Jones. And Team BBC realizing they're within 17. Going to call a timeout. Under 6 to go. We'll take a break as well. 67-50 to score. It's been all SC Supreme, but BBC trying to sniff around for a rally. Stay with us. We'll have the exciting conclusion up next. You're watching Adidas Summer Championships. Welcome back inside the Cashman Center. Jimmy Cook alongside the talented Coach Seth Greenberg.
Every time out, I go down. The great to the talented. No, my man Noah, the little guy Noah. Noah's taking a little nap here. He's got the game under control.
He is one of the staples of the Adidas Summer Championships and all of Adidas Uprising.
Noah probably had a bunch of hits yesterday on Twitter. I'm just telling you that.
He did. He not only had tweets.
He might have his own.
He had articles written about him.
Let me tell you, Noah might have his own Twitter handle, for all I know.
You know he had articles written about him yesterday.
As he should.
they were talking about inducting him and his dad into the AAU Hall of Fame for him being able to coach and father at the same time.
Taking a nap than a coach with a Bluetooth in his ear having a conversation on the phone. What do you think?
Yeah. I'd rather see Noah taking a nap than see a coach decide to leave with his team and kick the dust off the feet of a tournament as well. I'm not going to drop any names there.
Oh.
67-50 the score, 17-point game. SC Supreme continuing to dominate. Pfaffenberger forces the turnover as Team BBC trying to put together a run we've yet to see from them offensively. 3 in the far right side. That one's hit.
Got a ball game right here. Let's go.
Leads down to 14. 5.5 to go. Gotta love Team BBC for staying at this, and suddenly they're starting to creep closer to striking distance. Zion, he's tripped and fouled. Pfaffenberger displeased with that call.
It was a trip. I'm sure it was not an intentional trip, but Zion tried to split the double team or the help, and that's a foul.
And so Zion will be the inbound man. Baseline left underneath the own hoop of SC Supreme. 14-point advantage. James feeds to Dotson with 20 on the shot clock. Now Zion, far left side, tries to blow by his defender, now against a second one. He recovers and finishes his second chance opportunity.
And that's what makes him special. His ability for his second jump, his ability to hit the ground, pursue the basketball, and finish. That is so hard to do, and he makes it look so easy.
And how in the world are you supposed to try to stop that when you have a Mack truck coming at you that suddenly goes in reverse and is able to grab its own miss and put it back up?
Yeah, he's powerful, he's quick, he's physical, he carves out space. I mean, that was a big-time play. Now, how about Zion as a tight end?
We talked about that a little bit
Extremely
yesterday.
Unselfish.
And his pass to assist, the extra feed from James right to Bozer.
I thought James has played really well. James knocked down a couple threes, made some simple plays.
19 points, 4 assists, and a rebound, rounding out his stat line. That long three-pointer is misfired by Bakum. And Zion able to control that board to Dotson.
And again, Zion's ability to give up a little bit of himself, to be unselfish, to try to stay within what they're trying to do, and then pick his spots. But he's extremely unselfish. He's explosive off the floor. He's got terrific hands. You know he's going left, but it's hard to stop him from getting to his left hand. And he's got a good first step. I think his handle is fine.
5 on the shot clock.
But he's good. That's
Williamson did not get it off in the call foul. Let's see. They said he was fouled before the shot clock went off. So 2 free throws upcoming for Zion.
I really like that because they set on his left hand a little bit, but his ability to change direction, all right, and change speeds and get to his right hand and still finish or try to finish to draw a foul. Really explosive move.
26 points for Zion, 7 boards and 4 assists for him. 10 of 14 shooting, incredibly efficient for him. Make it 27 points. And Coach, you mentioned his ability to change speeds and change directions. At times, it's so shocking to be able to see him make that look so easy.
He plays low to the ground. He plants that foot, and he's a freakish athlete, is what he is.
What's the pair?
You all right with the missed free throw?
I am okay.
Right, just checking.
I'm okay.
I'm just checking on you.
Right side for 3. Credit that one to Christian Jones.
16-point game.
And Zion Williamson and company walking to the SC Supreme huddle with 3:16 to go and a timeout taken on the floor. We'll stay here. 72-56, leading the way right now. Got to give a shout out to him. Montez Mathis for Team BBC. He has 21 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Ranked inside the Rivals Top 100 offers from Memphis, St. John's, West Virginia, USC to name a few. And really carrying the weight of this Team BBC team that at times looked like they're sleepwalking out there.
Yeah, he's been their most efficient offensive player. He's shown good range, a good first step. He's made a couple of plays off the basketball to free himself up, but the energy of the the Baltimore BBC team has just not been good. Now they're trying to extend their defense. Let's see how Dotson handles the pressure.
And truthfully, from not only a fan standpoint, but a coaching standpoint, this type of pressure and energy and tenacity they're finally showing now in the final 3 minutes of this game is what you want to see from the onset, no?
Well, you got to score to get into pressure.
Right.
I mean, so they haven't been able to score the ball consistently, so why would they score anything else but the ball? But they haven't been able to score consistently, so they haven't been able to get pressure. But the energy that they've played with just hasn't been what it needs to be. And quite honestly, it starts with Immanuel Quickley. I mean, if he's more engaged, then their team is more engaged. You know, he's the pulse of this basketball team, and he's basically not really been the player that everyone expects him to be, most importantly, his teammates.
After the discussion with the officials out of that timeout, it will be free throws for Dotson. And for Dotson, 11 points, 9 boards, and an assist, 1 rebound away from a triple-double. He's definitely shown his worth today, and Coach, you've talked about it time and time again. Even if it's only one particular outing, he's done his best to try to contain Immanuel Quickley. And that one almost led to a 4-point play, a little too aggressive on that, but now Immanuel will shoot free throws.
He's done a good job of keeping Quickley in front, pressuring him, contesting shots, making it hard for him to get good looks, but as I watch, and I'm a big Immanuel Quickley fan, it looks like Immanuel Quickley's defending himself. That he's not being the aggressor and almost, you know, deferring. And for BBC to have any chance to win this game, he couldn't defer. He would had to have one of those, quote unquote, those games.
And that's at times, though we got to draw that back a little bit because of Mathis' performance today, but that's been at times how this Team BBC team has lived or died is by Immanuel Quickley. How he goes, they go, and that kind of lines up today other than the fact that you had Mathis jumping out of the scoring column on 7 of 13 shooting for 21 points.
Yeah, Mathis is a good player. I mean, you look at the offers that he has, you look at his size, you look at his length, his shot-making ability. Put it on the floor okay, but let's be real. I mean, you expect Quickley to do things that he hasn't done today.
Dotson misfired on his layup but got his own board, and now it's Zion versus Quickley. Zion leaves it to James. We'll reset things. James now doubled. They float it to Dotson. Dotson to Zion. Not a Dotson. Dotson goes around the defender to the rim, got it to go. 74-57. For Dotson, that's 13 points for him on the night. Quickley trying to show up Dotson this time. Now he leaves to Mathis. All the way to the rim, a lot of contact, put back. No, but he'll go to the line for 2 free ones.
And Mathis, that's the thing that impresses me. He's knocked down the 3. He's made some plays for others, but he has the ability to slash and get to the basket. So if you're a jump shooter and a guy that can get to the rim, that puts so much pressure on the defense. I like his size, I like his length, I like his skill set. He's got a chance to be a very good college player.
That first free throw is missed. For those of you watching right now on ballislife.com and on Facebook, answer the question in the comments section. Do you think Zion Williamson is worthy of that #1 rankings on Rivals.com and is in fact the best player in the country? Give your feedback live right now. I'm in that camp. Nothing to this point in the summer has deterred me from that feeling.
Are you influencing the vote?
Is that allowed?
I'm just wondering.
I want the people to give their honest opinion. I was just giving mine.
You asked an opinion, and then you gave the answer. I'm just wondering.
We'll have to go to our fearless producer, Brian Williams, and figure out if I've ruined the poll.
I mean, if you poisoned the poll, I don't think you have.
I appreciate that, Coach.
I think you're just stating your opinion, and it's good to have an opinion.
Do you think he should be ranked as high as he is? You don't have to say he's the best, but do you think that he's...
I think he's terrific. You know what I like? I like his temperament. I like his bounce. I like his physicality. I like his skill set. I think that his handle is actually pretty tight. He doesn't settle to shoot jump shots, and he looks like he's really easy to play with, which is, to me, really important. He plays with very little ego, and then defensively, he's been pretty alert off the ball defensively in terms of protecting the rim.
Let's see if we see any more of those type of highlight defensive plays here tonight. As a far right side three-pointer is an air ball, and Zion the board. Is he going to try to get free for a little exclamation point? Zion to the rim, got it to go, and there could have been some contact, but the officials letting this one roll through, rightfully so. A 20-point advantage right now. Zion has 29.
That's what I like. Every defensive rebound's an opportunity for a bust out and a transition play. And when you have a player that can do that, that player basically makes everyone else better and puts so much pressure on the defense, because if he rebounds the ball, the first 2 steps in transition win, and he's already by the defense.
First free throw upcoming for Christian Jones out of Annapolis High School in Annapolis, Maryland. One more upcoming for him. This lead 19 with $1:30 to go in this exhibition contest. Again, want to remind you that you can find all the bracket information when it's finalized on only one place when that's all said and done at the end of today's event. That's AdidasUprising.com. Also find stats, scores, and more. Only on AdidasUprising.com, exclusively right there. Turnover by Team BBC, or excuse me, by SC Supreme. Team BBC trying to take advantage. A skip pass, and what's the call? They're going to say they stepped out of bounds, turned it right back over to SC Supreme. So with a 19-point lead in hand, SC Supreme just trying to salt this one away with the pressure being applied continuously.
Great pass
by Team BBC. Solid find, unable to finish it though due to the foul from behind was Delmar Moore, but he'll go to the line to try to earn it the hard way with 2 free throws.
And that's just, again, a willing passer, a guy that can look over the defense and see plays and read a double team and find the open man. And, to me, that's the interesting thing about him is that people don't talk about his passing. They talk about his feel. They talk about his size. They talk about his strength, his explosiveness, his second jump. But really what makes him interesting is his skill set.
.105 to go, 80-59 the score. So many different unique skill sets on display here in general for both teams, excuse me, but the advantage has been to SC Supreme today. Dominant fashion from wire to wire. As a shot clock issue, the officials correct that, and SC Supreme will re-inbound the far sideline. 30-second differential game and shot clock. Dotson leaves for a slam from Delmar Moore. Moore's got 7, and for Dotson, that's his 3rd assist. He's got 15 points and 10 boards already for a double-double.
Now, seriously, I got a question for you. BW asked, why would anyone foul it?
Well, you saw Zion's body language there. Even he was like, what are we doing?
We need to get Zion over here. Zion could coach up his guys not to foul at the end of the game.
Instead, Mathis there to pat the stats a bit. Already an impressive night for him. 22 points, 7 of 13 shooting, and 2 rebounds.
He's got a big-time college, 2-guard body, a nice stroke.
Left that one short. Forward to Bowser. Someone's going to be very happy with Mathis, no doubt about that. Oh, Gillespie up the floor. Zion wanted the lob, but they couldn't get it to him, and now they'll call him back off. Dotson. Works to the right hand. Just milking this clock away. I've yet to see a team fully take a shot clock violation. And it won't happen here, as Dotson will drive all the way to the rim off glass. 84-59. Dotson now 17 points for him. Mathis, contested 3. No good. Final shot of the ball game. That one too strong. Buzzer sounds, and that'll do it. 84-59 the final. All SC Supreme led by Zion Williamson's 29 with 9 boards and 4 assists. And Dontarius James right there as well with 19 points and 4 assists. And Devon Dotson closing things out. He made an impact today, not only locking in on Immanuel Quickley, but he had 15 points and 10 boards. Coach, what does Team BBC do now that they know this game that didn't matter?
They've got to regroup. They've got to get together and say, well, what do we want to do? What's the exclamation point we want to put on this summer? And if it's one of something memorable, they've got to play harder. They did not compete the way they need to compete to have a chance to be the better team. It's
been a true pleasure bringing all the action here to you today. The final of our last game, SC Supreme 84. Team BBC 59. Make sure to stay tuned to AdidasUprising.com for all the brackets when they are finalized to see who will be seated where for the summer championship starting tomorrow. All we know is that the Compton Magic will have the best seed possible. Again, all that information will be finalized and released on AdidasUprising.com. Stay tuned there for all the stats, scores, and schedules. This has been a production of Hall Pass Media. Again, our final from our last broadcast of the day, SC Supreme wins 84-59 for Coach Seth Greenberg, Francis Williams, Brian Williams, and our entire staff and crew. This is Jimmy Cook saying, until we talk to you tomorrow, so long, everybody.
You